Producers, I'm gonna spill the tea. This is my favorite voicing to use when I wanna make something that's beautiful, that's pretty, that's romantic, that's floating like the angels just opened up the clouds. Hallelujah! So I'm gonna show you the voicing and I'm gonna give you 3 examples of how I've used this recently in my playing and in my productions. Let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is BruceBeats. I'm a multi-instrumentalist and producer. Placements with Rapsody, Major 7, Netflix, McDonald's, ESPN, and way more. And I know what it's like to try to learn piano through classical pianists and private lessons and still be stuck when I'm trying to play piano for my productions. So my goal with this channel is to help you play piano specifically for your music production and your songwriting, so you don't have to waste time learning things that are inapplicable and we could just get right to the goods. So the goods I'm going to show you today is this beautiful voicing. But it can also be played like this. It can also be played like this. Or even like this. Or even like this. It's incredibly versatile. When I was studying jazz at the University of Miami, this was taught to me as the ambient voicing. And I just keep using that name because it does have this ambient vibe to it, as you can tell. And it's very, very simple. The voicing is literally just 1, 2, 5. It's 3 notes. So if we were to play this in the key of C, we would have C, the 2, D, we skip over to the 5. So C, D, and G. And the only thing I do is I repeat the 5 on the bottom as well, because it gives it some thickness. Now, the reason this voicing is so awesome, because it has this open, kind of undefined vibe, it fits over every single chord in the major scale or in the minor scale that you're playing in. So if I were to play C on the bottom of this, I can play C major, but it would give me like this C sus2 kind of sound. If I put it over the D, for the D minor, it gives me that D minor, but like, again, a suspended hanging kind of sound. If I put it over the 3, it gives me like a 1/3 kind of feel, almost like a C major over E, but still kind of hanging, like a little bit undefined. If I put it over the F, it gives me that F major, but again, no third. It's still hanging, kind of ambiguous. If I put it over the G, I get that sus sound again, so still hanging, still ambiguous. If I put it over the 6th, A, I get that minor sound, but still has some openness to it. The only one it doesn't really work on is the 7. You could just like pass through it if you want, but still I think it sounds better if you... So the only one it doesn't really work over is the 7th, but 1 through 6, you could just keep using this voicing. So let's say I have this chord progression, which is incredibly common. We hear this chord progression everywhere. G, F, D minor. And that sounds fairly common, but what if I use the ambient voicing to play every single one of them? Like, I could just keep going. It just sounds incredibly beautiful. So that's example number 1, where we could just take a simple run-of-the-mill chord progression and just put the ambient voicing on and run it through. And we don't need to do it for every single chord. You know, maybe there's some where I want to actually... Maybe there's some chords where I actually want to play it full out because it sounds better. But as you can see, that's just up to you and your creativity and whatever emotion you want to express in your track. But we could take any run-of-the-mill chord progression, plug this guy in, and it's gonna work. When I first started playing music, the thing that captivated me the most was harmony and vocals were my first love in the entire world. And I'm still super taken by harmony. In fact, I built a whole career out of teaching producers how to master harmony for music production. And now I'm building a YouTube channel talking about harmony. It's literally my favorite thing in the world. And one of the things that I like to do for fun as a musician, because it brings me so much joy, is to re-harmonize songs that I really like. And so recently, I was listening to a song called Friend Zone by Rahim. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
You should've kept me inside the friend zone. Instead you're asking how it all ends for you.
Unfortunately, I can't play the full song, but I'll leave a link in the description for you to check it out if you like that vibe. So his chord progression in that song, especially in the verse, is super simple. It's in the key of E flat minor. And all he does is say,
it's just those two chords, right back and forth.
and I really like this melody. I love the tempo. I love the groove. I wanted to reharmonize it. And then I was like, hey, what if I use this ambient chord just to make this incredibly beautiful? That way, when it gets to the hook and it drops like a little bit more mean, I can have that contrast with like beauty and angels singing to you in the verse. And then the hook is like mean. So we got like that angel double vibe. So here's how I use the ambient voicing to reharmonize this melody. So as I stated before, the first chord is B major. And so I decided to use this as my anchor. So using that ambient voicing, 1, 2, 5, and then doubling that 5 on the bottom, this is how it looks like in B major. And so now what I can do is I can just scrub through all of these bass notes as I did before, and it's gonna sound pretty cool. Now, I don't use this chord exclusively for every single chord because that gets a little bit monotonous. There's very little tension and release when you just have the same sound over and over and over again. So what I do is I use it for most of the chords while changing the bass note, and when I leave the sound, I'm creating tension to bring us back into that ambient voicing. So check it out. My beautiful vocals. We leave it, now we come back. See how it gives it this floaty feeling? Now check it here. Leave, come back. So you see we get this push and pull, and it always comes back here. And this is incredibly satisfying. We leave it, we come back. We leave it, we come back. And last but not least, I want to show you how I used it at the end of a hymn that I've been absolutely obsessed with lately called Thy Peace by Zach Barnes. So this is in the key of B major. So this last two chords are F, right? We have a 5 chord bringing us back to 1. And he does a 5 sus. Sounds beautiful, there's nothing wrong with this. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to see how I can really milk this tension before landing back at this resolution. Because this entire hymn is very happy. It's very, glorious. It's very angels shining down upon you. And I wanted to see how I can introduce some darkness, some roughness in between this happy tension chord and in between this happy resolution chord. So what I decided to do, what I thought would be really cool, is to kind of have like a rising up chromatically of the bass note to bring us back home. And so I just wanted to fill that in with chords that I felt were appropriate, but that also had like some darkness to it. And I found 2 really cool spots to use the ambient voicing here. So chord number 1 is that F sharp, right? I can use that same ambient voicing that I had before right here over this F sharp because it just gives it a lightness. And then going up a half step, I'm actually leaving a lot of the voicing very much the same, just having a G on the bottom. And then for my next chord, we just have some sort of dominant chord. And then my next chord, I can play it again. Over this A, playing the same voicing here, but playing it over A, but 6/9, so it gives it like a really nice vibe. And then I come up one more time, play this as altered, and then we finally land. So there you have it. This is my favorite voicing when I want to make something sound extra beautiful. If you dig this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when more videos like this drop. And I will see you on the next one. My name is Bruce Beats. Peace!